Today, we're diving into one of the most significant developments in the Southeast Asian defense scene near the 2025 TLS-TT Torpedoes Missile System, a name that's starting to echo far beyond the Philippine archipelago. Welcome back to Motor Authority Philippines Sea, where we go beyond the wheels and into the machines that shape national security, regional power, and the future of technology in motion. If this is your first time here, don't forget to hit subscribe for deep dives just like this. Now, let's talk about this missile. At first glance, the TLS-TT might sound like just another acronym in the crowded world of military tech. But if you're following developments in maritime defense, especially in the Asia-Pacific, then you know this system is something different. Designed specifically to meet the demands of modern coastal warfare, the TLS-TT is not just a torpedo or a missile, it's both. That hybrid capability is what makes it a standout in the 2025 defense lineup. So, what exactly is it? TLS-TT stands for Tactical Launch System A Torpedo Tactical. Essentially, it's a dual-capability weapon system that can be launched from multiple platforms, coastal batteries, light patrol ships, and even from retrofitted aircraft. It carries a guided torpedo payload that can be used for anti-submarine warfare, but with a missile-like delivery system that dramatically increases its range and flexibility. It's the kind of weapon that's designed for archipelagic nations like the Philippines, where threats can come from both deep-sea submarines and fast attack boats maneuvering between the islands. Let's break that down. Most torpedoes are launched from submarines or large surface vessels. They're powerful, no question, but limited by the launching platform's mobility and stealth. The TLS-TT breaks that mold. It uses a lightweight, self-contained launcher that can be fitted onto smaller naval platforms or coastal defense trucks. That means the Philippines can now deploy advanced undersea weapons without needing a massive blue water navy. It's a force multiplier, plain and simple. Now, let's talk about the tech. At its core, the TLS-TT uses a dual-stage propulsion system. The first stage is the missile booster that gets the weapon airborne or out of a vertical launch cell. The second stage is the torpedo itself, which activates once the missile reaches a designated drop zone. This is where it gets exciting. The system uses real-time targeting data either from sonar buoys, unmanned underwater vehicles, or shipborne sensors to update its mid-flight trajectory. Once the torpedo hits the water, it switches to its onboard sonar, locking onto enemy submarines or ships using acoustic signatures. This makes the TLS-TT extremely difficult to counter. A traditional anti-missile system might track the launch, but it can't predict where the torpedo will be released. That unpredictability adds a layer of survivability and threat to the weapon, exactly what a deterrent is supposed to do. But this isn't just about firepower. One of the most exciting aspects of the TLS-TT is how it aligns with the armed forces of the Philippines' Horizon 3 modernization program. Instead of investing in a handful of expensive, high-maintenance platforms, the AFP is looking at how modular, networked, and distributed systems can create a stronger deterrent posture. That's exactly where the TLS-TT fits. It's affordable compared to legacy missile systems, it can be deployed in swarms, and it doesn't need a major ship to operate. Now, the question many of you are probably asking are, who developed this thing? While the full details haven't been publicly disclosed, sources suggest that the TLS-TT is a joint project between a Philippine defense contractor and a foreign partner, likely from South Korea or Turkey. Both countries have been pushing the envelope in smart munitions and asymmetric warfare systems. The design borrows heavily from existing torpedo missile hybrids like South Korea's K-ASROC and Turkey's Orca lightweight torpedo, but with distinct modifications tailored for shallow water operations in the South China Sea. And that brings us to the geopolitical angle. Let's not pretend this is just about defense tech. The deployment of systems like the TLS-TT sends a very clear message. In a region where maritime boundaries are increasingly contested, particularly around the West Philippine Sea, tools like these are more than deterrents, they're symbols of sovereignty. They allow smaller nations like the Philippines to punch above their weight, to say, we can defend our waters, and we don't need to outgun you, we just need to outsmart you. And that's exactly what this missile does. It's not about brute strength. It's about flexibility, speed of deployment, and the ability to operate in complex terrain, whether that's the deep waters off Palawan or the narrow channels near Mindoro. It's a weapon built for island defense in the 21st century, and it's going to change how Southeast Asia thinks about naval power. But let's bring it back to the ground level for a moment. Imagine you're a naval officer tasked with defending a remote Philippine outpost. You don't have an aircraft carrier. You don't have a submarine fleet. But with a single TLS-TT battery and an intel drone, you can detect, track, and neutralize a hostile submarine that's trying to sneak through the channel. That kind of capability used to belong only to superpowers. Now, it's within reach of developing navies. That's what's so exciting about this. It democratizes power projection. It levels the playing field. And for a country like the Philippines, with over 7,000 islands to protect, that could be a game changer. In terms of specs, here's what we know: the missile stage has a range of about 100 kilometers, depending on altitude and launch conditions. The torpedo itself has a range of 20 kilometers underwater, using a combination of passive and active sonar homing. The system is modular, allowing the torpedo payload to be swapped out for depth charges or even anti-ship warheads, depending on the mission. It's still early days, and we're expecting more updates as the system enters full operational testing later this year. But make no mistake here, the TLS-TT isn't just another defense system. It's a statement of intent. So what do you think? Is this the future of asymmetric naval warfare? Or just another experimental platform with more promise than punch? Let us know in the comments below. And if you've got questions about how this compares to other systems like the BrahMos or the Naval Strike Missile, drop those too, we'll be covering that in an upcoming video. Until then, this is Motor Authority Philippines Sea. Stay sharp, stay informed, and as always, drive the future forward.